Welcome in here, everybody. As you come through the door, please hit that like. Please share this out. Appreciate you coming in straight from Jay's Live. He's been going all day long with the Rust trial. I missed this morning, so I'm going to be going back and watching a little bit of the initial out the gate start with this. Bryan Carpenter, who is an actual good armorer, is going to break it down for us. And if you missed this, please stay tuned. We're going to be watching this. And, coming at you.
Let's rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here. What is going on? My hoodie ain't even right. Hold on. Make sure the hoodie's looking decent. What is up, everybody? Thank you for coming in here. I don't have a Dan ready to rock and roll. I sent Dan the link, and I know that they ended a little bit early, and I was expecting it to go all the way to 7, but you never know. So, Jay, thank you so much, dude, for sending everybody over here. We're going to be watching, again, a little bit from what happened this morning. Bryan Carpenter. I got to see a little bit of the tail end of his testimony. Actually, a lot bit of the tail end. But the very beginning, I missed all of it this morning. So we're going to be watching that again as Dan comes in. I'm going to tell him to come on over, and we'll get him in here. But let me make sure all the chat and everything is working again. Hope everybody had a great day. I know you guys were hanging out with Jay. I was in there all day as well. Crazy. The Dave Hall's testimony. What a bumbling fucking dildo. Jesus Christ. That guy's a moron. Let's see, get the chat. Let me refresh it. Boom. And also make sure all my shit is working. But yeah, we're going to jump right in here right now on this, and I will get all this other stuff working as we go. But yeah, appreciate it. Again, share this out. Let people know you're hanging out here. And let's rock and roll. I want to see this guy. I want to see at the beginning. I know that he's awesome from what I've seen already.
W. Carpenter.
And how are you currently employed?
I work for 13 South Productions.
And is that a company that you own?
It is.
And what kind of a company is that?
It's a production company.
What do you produce?
Films and documentaries.
And in addition to being a producer, have you also had armorer experience in the film industry?
I have.
So what I'd like to do, I'm going to back up just a little bit. I want to talk about your experience with regard to firearms prior to you becoming involved in the film industry. Can you tell us if you have any law enforcement?
Good to see everybody coming in here. Thank y'all so much.
Training?
I do.
Early show, I know. Usually on Thursdays and even Tuesdays, we go live at 9. I wanted to keep as many people as possible. I know that's a little bit later as well, as they were coming over for Jay, as I'm also covering the Rust trial that's happening. So trying to capitalize on this.
I spent most of my adult life using a firearm as a tool, either as a protector, a trainer, and then ultimately in the film industry as an armorer. My last official assignment that I worked on was New Orleans Police Department SWAT, Tactical Unit 3 under Jeff Wynn's command. That was during Katrina and all of Rita, and then all of the cleanup and restoration efforts. Before that, I worked as a contractor, securities contractor, for almost 20 years. I've worked on operations from Haiti to et cetera, et cetera. I've trained.
This guy's
at,
credits were crazy.
Mobile operation.
I'm gonna pop up his
urban combat
IMDb real
training
quick.
for RCTA. I've trained at NASA.
And what's RCTA?
Regional Counter Narcotics Training Academy.
Thank you, sir.
And they have a Mount City there that's mobile operations on urban terrain. I've received my high-risk environment training and implementation certification there, level 1 and 2. I've trained down at NASA at Cape Canaveral for SWAT and some machine gun and select fire training. Had some really good mentors that advised me to get as much training as they would put out there. So I was very fortunate to have their guidance and direction over a 20-year career.
Okay, and then how did you end up transitioning into the film industry?
After Katrina, we were down there working, and one of my buddies came to me and he said, "Would you like to go and do some bodyguard work for an actor?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so." So I turned him down at first, and then he kept coming back to me. I said, "You told him you had somebody, didn't you?" And he said, "Yeah, just go talk to him." So I went and had a conversation with him, and it ended up being the movie Deja Vu with Denzel Washington and his crew. And I went to work for him for a little while on that show, and got some guidance from him, and that transitioned me into film, and I took my skill set and applied it there.
And have you been employed on film sets in the role of armorer?
I have.
Approximately how many times have you worked as an armorer on a film set?
Considering individual episode, TV, and feature film, around 100 projects.
And have you been hired in some capacity by the Office of the Special Prosecutor?
Yes, I was contacted, it seems now maybe a couple years ago, to come on as a expert witness and try to help sort out some of the intricacies of film and armor services.
Okay. I would tender Mr. Carpenter as an expert in firearm safety on film sets.
No objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, he's a fucking expert.
Expert in firearm safety.
An actual
on
expert.
film sets.
Yes, Your Honor.
In the same room as a what's below a novice, because whatever the hell that is what Hannah is.
Mr. Carpenter, in the time that you have worked on this case, have you reviewed documents and videos?
I have.
And can you give the jurors an idea of the types of things that you've reviewed in order to be able to render opinions?
It's been a while now, and I've looked at quite a great deal of paper, video. I've watched police interviews. I've watched videos from the set of Rust that were taken. I've reviewed documents from the district attorney's office in the form of transcripts. I've reviewed firearms. I've been able to actually go and look at the evidence. I've also looked at the rounds that were used on set, including the dummy rounds, etc., and a plethora of other things. It's categorized.
Alligator Ashley.
Thousands of pages of documents.
Okay. And I'd like to begin by just having you explain to the jury generally what.
And just to this point right here, I will be pausing. This is a reaction video from this earlier today. Art with Viv. I watched him earlier on Jay's stream, but I was multitasking, so I'm happy that you're covering it. I think that's a lot of us, right? This goes all day long. We all work regular. A lot of us work regular jobs, or you're just living life. You're taking care of your family, you're taking care of your kids, taking care of yourself, whatever that is. It's hard to get all of this in. I work a regular job, so I just can't sit and watch this all day long. I wanted to get on here, and this one I was super intrigued and interested in, because the little bit that I did see live from Jay's was just like, whoa, blown away by the depth of his knowledge, quite frankly, and he's so well spoken.
The role of an armorer on a movie set is, what their responsibilities are.
First and foremost, an armorer's responsibility is the safety of the cast and crew, paramount above all else. Secondly, from that, it is to creatively give the director and the film the look and the feel that they want. In other words, if it's a military operations show, then you will need to help them sort what a military operations personnel would have, or if it's an intelligence officer, or if it's a police officer or SWAT team member, etc. Then you help the props department find that equipment, source that equipment, and safely implement it on the set on a creative level.
In terms of the hands-on job of an armorer on set, what does the armorer do?
Fuck Brooklyn.
Hands-on,
Haven't
they
seen
handle
that.
the weapons, as one might expect. So you get these weapons in from a verified, safe source. You collect the weapons on the set or wherever the delivery point is. You check those weapons, and then you secure those weapons until they're implemented on the scene, and then re-secure them afterwards in chain of custody type.
And in terms of ammunition that is typically used on movie sets, we've heard a fair amount of testimony before you took the stand. We understand that frequently dummies and blank ammunition is used. Is that correct?
That is correct.
What is the armorer's responsibility with regard to that ammunition and quality control of that ammunition?
Well, again, we get back to the first thing is making sure it's sourced from a legitimate and vetted place. I source most of mine from ISS, Independent Studio Services, out of California. They have a excellent safety standard there. They have an entire gun department where they check these weapons in, check them out. All of these items are checked extensively. I used to have an instructor said to me that complacency kills, and you can't be safe enough. You cannot check things enough. So having multiple layers of safety is important. So I say that to say this: getting it from that location, you already have a sense that they're going to be what they should be, and they're going to be in the condition they should be in. However, falling back to that last statement, when we receive these items in, or an armorer receives those items in, it's important to also double verify that. So the first thing that would be done would be a safety check and an audit of all items that came in, including and especially any dummy rounds or blanks.
So it's the armorer's responsibility to take those rounds from the supplier
That's right.
and double check them.
That's correct.
Now, in terms of the amount of discretion that the armorer generally has on set, can the armorer stop filming because of safety issues?
Absolutely, you would hope that you don't get to that point because there's very few people that can call cut or just stop a movie in its tracks. There's 3 departments on the movie set that can cause the loss of life if not done properly. That's special effects, stunts, and armor services. Those 3 things are very important that safety be upheld to the highest level. And yes, if you find or see or find yourself in a position where something extremely unsafe is happening, you can call cut and stop the production.
Is the armorer working for the actor? And what I mean by that is, can the armorer tell the actor what to do and not to do when it comes to firearms and firearms safety?
The quick and straight answer is yes. The armor department falls under the prop master, and the prop master department falls under the art department by technicality. Or technically, I should say. That is the level of command and the chain of command on that. But at any given time, you can step outside of that chain of command and give instruction based off of what you're supposed to be doing, and that is safety and guidance therein.
In your career as an armorer, have you ever had experiences where you had to just take guns away from people on movie sets?
Yes.
And why would you ever have to do that?
It mostly happens, and all of the multitude of stunt performers are going to get upset at me saying this, but it's the truth. Stunt performers, I love them. We've trained so many, and our stunt performers can be seen on almost every action movie in the last 10 years, and I'm very proud of them. However, a stunt performer will quickly say that they can do just about anything if you ask them, from fly a jet to handle a lever-action rifle. On that note, sometimes you give weapons off to stunt performers and quickly realize that they are not handling them safely or properly, and at that point in time you step in and very politely and soft-handedly just walk over and say to the prop master or to whomever, take the weapon away and say, this person doesn't get a live weapon anymore, they get a replica or a dummy or nothing at all. And so yes, I've had to do that in the stunt world pretty more than frequently, I would say. For an actor, I've never had to take a weapon away. I've worked with actors who were not allowed to handle a weapon due to safety issues previously, but I've never had to personally take one away from an actor. I've
Okay.
corrected actors, but never had to take one away.
And in terms of correcting
He's a
actors,
cutie. Okay, he's a cute boy. He's a cute man. I didn't just call him a boy. He's a cute man.
what are the things that an armorer does on a movie set to correct an actor?
Again, I believe in the soft-handed approach, which is the best. Observe until it's time to step in, and at that point of observation, step in and offer suggestions. And if those suggestions are not followed, then you get more serious and say, this isn't a suggestion any longer. This is a direct action. We need to do it this way. I had one particular scene where they wanted to walk into a motel room with submachine guns, fully automatic weapons, firing at the guy that kicked the door open, and the guy that was coming into the room, the actor, was going to be firing two pistols at the same time, semi-automatic handguns, and the proximity of the room was too close. They wanted to do it in what's called a oneer, which is just straight through shot, where we're not going to break it up and have little small bits and pieces of the shot. And they were pretty dedicated toward that, so I had to step in and say, that's not safe and we can't do it this way. We're going to have to break this up and make it to where everyone's not in the scene and in a small hotel room together.
And sometimes what you just described can actually affect the filming of the movie.
It can.
Okay. But that's the armorer's job, right?
It is, and your job also is to...
Okay. You're right.
Your job is also to affect it in a way that, again, is soft-handed. You give the creative side of the team what they want in the look while giving them options of safety until it becomes, and hope it never becomes, a moment where you have to say, there's just cannot be done this way at all. And generally they listen.
I want you to walk the jury through the steps that an armorer takes on a movie set when they are preparing to provide an actor with a weapon for a scene.
Okay. So you want me to get into the weeds enough to all the way from shipping to preparation, or just on the day of?
Just on the day of.
On the day of, you will have had time to prepare whatever item. And let's just say in this particular instance, it's a very simple scene. There's a revolver that the detective is using to chase a bad guy, right? You know what you're going to need for that day. Let's say he shoots 2 rounds at the bad guy, okay? And they want the revolver loaded with dummies. And the dummy rounds, as I think have been explained, are a specific entity unto themselves. You'll have your dummy rounds sequestered aside from your blank rounds that will be fired that day. It will already be safety meetings and discussions had with the props department, etc. So you know what you're doing, exactly what you're doing. It's on the call sheet, etc., etc. You take your firearm and you have it in, let's just say, a locked box or whatever you're carrying it to the set with. And
like Hannah watching this testimony, this she's like, huh, I didn't learn that. And no one told me that. This is the first time I'm hearing that.
It's time for that scene to be shot. You go out to the scene, and at that point in time, you open up the box. And right when they're prepping, and you kind of get a feeling of this, when they're prepping, when they're bringing camera out and they're setting it up, and they call the actors out to the set, it's time to start clearing that weapon. You take that weapon out. You clear that weapon with at least 2 representatives on set. Anybody that wants to see it gets it cleared with them if they request, but generally it's going to be your first AD and possibly the DP as well, on the director of photography, which is the camera.
Who's the first AD in this case?
And then Rust would be Dave Halls.
And who is the director of photography?
Would be Helena Hutchins.
Okay, please continue, sir.
The revolver would be cleared, showed to be clear and safe, and no obstructions in the barrel, nothing in the cylinder, etc., etc. You would talk about the type of rounds that you're firing. Let's say they're shooting half flash, which is not full flash blank, it's a half of a blank, right? Half flash blanks, and you would definitely take your dummy rounds out. You would show them, shake them, listen to them. It's an audible and visible view that you can look at it. You can hear it, you can feel it, right?
So in terms of the dummy rounds, I just want to make sure, are you testifying that you show the individual dummy rounds to the AD and whoever else wants to see.
Absolutely.
And the actor.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, the actor may or may not be on set yet, but when they get there, this is done again. So with the actor, and sometimes you'll have an actor that says, "Nah, I don't want to see it," or they'll just brush it off. But as long as you've done your safety check with at least 2 other sources and moved through that process, then you've done what you should have done, along with your own checks. Having said that, you will wait until the scene is about to get to start shooting. Usually, no matter what they say, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, hand the gun out, hand the gun out." Well, to wait till they're about speeding sound, and there you got also the feeling of doing it enough till when they're really going to start rolling that camera. Because otherwise, you're handing off a weapon and then you're getting it back, and then the process just keeps slowing down. So you have
on the set of Rust, they were just like, "Hey, you want to hold a gun, kid? You want to swing a gun around?" Like, the guns were just willy-nilly hanging out in people's hands. You got Alec Baldwin just running around, "Reload, let's go," just swinging a gun around ramp. And this dude's like, no. I would like to have seen this guy on that set. Like, he'd have
to maintain that level of control
anymore.
there. At the last moment, you hand off the weapon to the actor. The scene is shot, and as long as nothing changes, meaning no one leaves or nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Dan back here. Let me get my brother on real quick. I jumped on real quick, so yeah, let me get Dan. There he is. What's up, dude? Let me get you in here real quick. I got you. Boom. Won't take but a second. Here we go. Boom, and he should start to come right into the existence of the stream. There he is.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
Hit that highlight button for me so I can get full screen.
Get
And
the
then
highlight for him.
Yeah, just chilling.
Nice, dude. I'm glad you come
early
in here.
for
Yeah,
that.
I said 7, but I came in just a little bit earlier. They ended the trial early, so and I wanted to be on as soon as he did the portal. So,
Yep.
hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't think you didn't see anything today, did you?
Not a single thing. Nope.
Dude, the guy we're watching right now is a legit armorer. His name is Bryan Carpenter. He's done tons of legit stuff. Now, Hannah is sitting here taking notes. She probably isn't because she's never going to do this again in her life, but she has to be getting the first ever legit armorer's class of her life live.
So is this guy a former military or cop or
Former
something
police
like that?
officer. Yeah, ended up getting recommended to do some bodyguard work on a film. Denzel Washington was on that film, and he helped him get into the business. He has his own production company now. He's went all, dude, this guy's awesome. This is cool.
Yeah, because I've heard typically from multiple people now that most of the time armorers are either former military or former law enforcement of some kind.
Which makes sense, right? It's a hell of a lot better than being, the daughter of some guy that was good.
Right.
Let me get back in here.
Which isn't even like a bad thing.
No, I mean, if she's trained properly and...
Yeah, that's the thing. She seems to not have been... She seems like she just kind of rushed her way in.
Yeah. I mean, this was her second ever movie, and on the first movie she was ever on, she was reprimanded, and then on this one, of course, we know what's happened here, so...
And there were multiple misfires or accidental discharges.
Right, yeah. Yeah, multiple accidental discharges on this set. I mean, it's actually it never ends. Every single day of this trial, I'm just like shocked, dude. Even during this, they're showing some new footage, and the guns. Right before you came on here, I was kind of talking about the guns were just like willy nilly in everyone's hands. This guy's basically saying they wouldn't be in their hands until the scene is happening, like straight up. Yeah. So. It's crazy, dude. Like this, they pass off a rifle to this kid who just starts swinging it around. No one. It's good. When he sees this, he's like, "All right, what the hell?" He doesn't say that, but I mean, you can just. And this guy's so well spoken, man. He's incredibly professional. But yeah, dude. Like they show some different scenes that we hadn't seen before, and it's just like, what the fuck? Real quick, I do want to give some shout outs. I said I was going to do it. To some supers that just came through here. Hold on. Let me do that real quick. Thank you all so much for hanging and banging. I appreciate the fuck out of it. Share this out. Hit that like ski. First of all, Jersey Gin. We love Jersey Gin coming through here. $2. Love bouncing from J to PB, and we fucking love you. Thank you so much. Boom. Love having you in here, Jen. Let me hit you with another one. Hit you with a little biggie also. Also coming right behind that, Bonnie Bailey with another $2 holler, as Bob would say. Let me get you a little love, baby. Love it. And then right behind that, Ashy Snow coming through. Ashy's incredible. She's coming through with a super sticker, 1999. Thanks for being you. No, thank you for being here and being you, Ashy, because you're always killing it out here. Love you. Thank you so much.
This place is dead anyway, man.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
My house.
Good shit. What's up?
So Mandy sent me this guy's resume, which is insane.
Dude, it's insane.
But also, she is right. He looks like Bam Margera for sure.
Yeah, I definitely get the Bam vibe. I could see that. I didn't get that till you just said it, but no, it's right in his fucking face.
I saw her.
It's actually Bam now. It's like the bloated face Bam. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect this man, but Bam, this is Bam now. Like,
the picture she sent in chat too is like looks a lot like.
We look at it.
Changes on that set, you can stand there with that weapon, observing the scene until it's time to collect it back up.
That one.
You always want to be
even
Johnny
more
on the
so.
spot.
That one actually looks like a little bit more like younger Bam.
Yeah.
We got both versions of Bam here.
When that actor gets through with that scene, they're going to be immediately looking to hand it to somebody, and they'll hand it to anybody. So you have to be there and collecting that weapon up safely and securely, maintaining muzzle discipline, et cetera, et cetera. And then if they walk off and they want to come back, then this process repeats again.
In your experience, should the armorer ever leave a gun with anyone else and leave the area?
Not a live weapon, no. And when I say live, I mean a weapon capable of firing a round or a blank.
A live weapon being, it could be a prop gun, but it's a real revolver.
Props or replicas are different than a live gun. So what a lot of people don't understand on a movie set.
No, I see it, Mandy. I totally see it.
Most of the weapons are real guns. As far as the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, ATF is concerned, these are all real weapons. And they're serial numbered, licensed. That's a real weapon, regardless of modifications. For use in film, it's capable of firing a round in some capacity or other. A prop gun is completely an inert weapon that cannot fire a round in any capacity, and a replica is simply one that looks like a gun but is not.
Okay, so pursuant to your definition of a live gun, that being a fully operable firearm, would the armorer ever leave that and walk away?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it just opens the door for any type of accident to occur. You have no management of that weapon at that point in time. It could, from the most simple of things, be laid down by a performer haphazardly and picked up by any number of people or left in areas that are unsecured. You can't manage what's happening to the weapon. If someone drops it, damages it, now it's going to malfunction. If somebody sticks the muzzle of it down into the dirt and fills it with dirt, and then you fire a blank round, many things on a very, I guess we'd be on a low scale of danger, and then you work up to more dangerous things like someone having blank rounds left in their pocket and loading it, or pointing it at another person, breaching the force safety rules, et cetera, or having it stolen.
In your experience, how does the armorer generally carry the ammunition when on set for the moment that they're going to load it with dummies or blanks and hand it to the actor?
Oh, just in their pockets. They usually carry it in their pockets, the left or the right pocket, either pocket. Maybe a shirt pocket if they're wearing their nice flannel. I like a flannel bullet.
Maybe even a stylish little fanny pack.
God, yeah, those fanny packs. Yeah, she was looking for that fanny pack hard, boy. Keep a couple bullets in there mixed in. I like to keep a mix. I like to not know what's really going on, and I like to have all rounds in my pocket at the same time. And then when I pull it out, it's a guessing game. It's all just up in the air.
I like it to
That's
be a
his
surprise.
answer. Huh?
Like it to be a surprise.
I like it to be a surprise.
Now you get into
Insane,
a lot of
insane
different types of movies that you're going to work on. If you're working on a modern movie with machine guns, et cetera, and you're shooting thousands of rounds a day, then you may load your blanks into the magazines, checking them all previously. Then I tape the magazines over the top with a particular kind of tape, and I mark on that how many rounds, what type of rounds, et cetera, and we check all of those things. If it's a Western or something that's using older weapons that are more simple to operate, then I generally carry my blanks in a locked, what they call a magazine. The ATF refers to it as a magazine. It's anything that holds ammunition or explosives. So I will have my blanks in a magazine, and I will have my dummies separately in a, generally I use a locked Pelican box, which is, Pelican boxes are atmospherically conditioned boxes that lock in the front, and they're made out of a heavy, durable plastic.
Those, excuse me, those Pelican boxes that you use, is that something that production pays for, or is that just part of your kit?
It's part of my kit, generally.
So you bring with you some of your own personal items.
Sometimes our company, Dark 30 Film Services, would have rented a firearm. I generally err toward the side of getting them through ISS, but when it comes to ancillary items such as Pelican boxes or means of storing and categorizing all of this ammunition, I prefer to use my own system, which is what I'm accustomed to, and I feel very safe and secure. So I would bring those things.
Okay. In your experience, are film sets frequently rushed environments?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because in any movie, time is an exact equal to money. The more time you spend, the more money you spend. And that comes from even when they invite an actor to walk, you'll have a PA saying, you know, our actor's walking 30 seconds. I mean, it gets down to the seconds, literally, on a film. So the more time you don't have your things in order, or you're not prepared to actually get what they say, things in front of camera and on camera, the more money you're spending. So any delay of any sort is an expense to the production and to the producers or studio.
Can that rushed atmosphere have an effect on the armorer?
Yes.
And talk to us about the effect that it can have, and in your experience, what the armorer's responsibilities are.
Well, I can say this, and this is something that I was also with my one of our very good mentors always told me. He said, if you're being rushed, that's the time to slow down twice as much. And so that's generally the rule of thumb. If the production is rushing you and they're pushing you, which they do, then at that point in time you need to stop, take a beat, take a breath, and slow down twice as much as you were before, because that means you're getting into an atmosphere of unsafe behavior, and you're getting into something where you may miss something or have a misstep or overlook something, and that is not a place to be when you're in charge of safety.
If you do what you just described and you intentionally slow things down for safety, do sometimes other people on the set get upset with you?
Yes.
And what do you do then?
You have to be prepared to go home. If in lack of a better word, I've always, believed, and it's very important that if you take a role where you're in charge of other people's safety and well-being, ultimately, even in a circumstance of their life, then it doesn't matter. Your ethos or your code that you work by is, I will do what's right, regardless of what it may mean to me downstream. And having said that, there's been more than one time that I've thought, well, I might as well go pack my things up and get ready to leave this movie set, because I'm definitely not going to, to rush things.
Okay.
It didn't happen, but it could have.
In your experience, do armorers carry dummies or blanks loose in their pockets or a fanny pack?
Different armorers could carry things, I guess, any way they chose that they felt like it was secured. So,
what about blow? Do they usually carry blow with them, just wherever they are on their person? Is that an industry standard, Mr. Carpenter?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I don't.
Why not?
Because I don't feel dummy rounds are specifically spooky, for lack of a better word, also when you're using them on a movie set, because they're meant to recreate the look and feel of a real round, right? Or I should say the look without the BBs inside, which the audience would never know. So having said that, it's just a good idea to have those things in an area where you're in 100% control of them. So loose inside of bags or inside of pockets just doesn't equate to that, as far as I'm concerned. But other people.
Giant plug.
Trying to come up with this real quick.
In your opinion,
the
should an
blow
armorer
was
leave a gun with an
still-
assistant
is that
director and walk away?
hearsay and
No.
speculation.
Why not?
That's
Because
part of it, but that's not going to be part of evidence, I don't think.
And that's a good question. I don't think I've actually seen it like where they've
Confirmed.
brought it out or it's well. That's a good question because yes, she passed it off to somebody at a hotel, and that person I'm assuming is what who told the police. But did they give it to the police, or was that just like part of their?
And will they be
potentially
a witness too?
Yeah,
Tell
maybe
that?
maybe Jay. I'm gonna see if anybody knows that. That's a good question. Anybody in the
that
chat know
goes
that
right back to the,
If the
you know,
blow will
fundamental
be brought up,
rules of
like,
gun
officially?
safety. If you're not in control of viewing this weapon and knowing what they're doing with it, then you're lost control completely.
Audio's going
So
weird.
you need to be observed of these things.
Fix that. That's been happening like crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like we dodged it after we switched from Discord, and now it's like my voice used to do it, right?
Now it's like the video.
Yeah.
These weapons at all times.
And are you familiar with accidental discharges?
There's two types of discharges that are in the firearms world, training world, etc. You have NDs and ADs. ADs are accidental discharges. Now, an accidental discharge happens very infrequently because that means there was a malfunction of the weapon or something that created a true accident. Almost all discharges that occur are negligent discharges or NDs, which means it's operator error. So an ND would be the correct verbiage there.
I want to shout out Poke Bomb real quick coming through because it's happy a leap year, Dan. It's February the 29th. We only get this day every 4 years.
Yep.
This is a special day. Happy. Thank you so much, Pokemon 9.99. Pokemon 9.99 coming through. I can't even break that. I can't break saying Pokemon. Sorry. Thank you so much.
There's actually there's another interesting one that I actually didn't know about until I guess I don't remember when it was. If it was 2021, 2022. But there were so typically there's 26 pay periods. There's 26 2-week periods in a year.
Yeah.
There was 27, and it only happens once every 11 years.
Whoa. I did not know that.
I can't remember if it was 2021 or 2022.
So we got another
We got one extra pay period. Yeah.
weird. Huh.
Just
I
by
did not know that.
by the way the pay periods fell, and that may not work for everybody's job because your pay periods may be different, right? But for my job specifically, it was like just the pay period fell super early on January, I guess, and it created this extra. Basically, we got an entire extra paycheck.
That is crazy. Yeah.
For that year.
I didn't know that.
Are you aware, based on the review of the documents and the materials in this case, are you aware that there were, I think what you're referring to as negligent discharges?
Yes.
Okay. And are you also aware that with regard to those negligent discharges, Ms. Gutierrez was not in control of those weapons at the moment?
It is my understanding, yes.
Okay. So, if there's a negligent discharge on a movie set, ultimately, who's responsible for that?
It would be the armorer's responsibility. Now, obviously, that blame also can be split with whoever created the negligent discharge. But if you create an environment for the ND to occur, then the blame is on the armorer and on the person who actually had the negligent discharge. So it's a double-sided coin there.
Okay.
KMBs, welcome in.
Oh shit!
In your experience,
So I googled it real quick, and so it actually can happen in two different ways.
Okay.
In non-leap years, 1 day of the week occurs 53 times instead of 52. So if your payday, like my payday's on Friday, so if your payday is Friday, then I guess that happens once every 11 years. But if it happens on a leap year, then you actually have twice the chance because 2 days of the week occur on 53 times instead of 52. So I guess I don't know what days it is for this year, but I guess it just depends on what day you get paid, I guess.
Yeah.
If
That's
you get paid
interesting,
on
though.
Friday. If you get paid on a Friday, then it's once every 11 years for sure. I know that because I remember they told us about it.
You're like, hell, fuck yes.
But leap year, 2 different days occur 53 times a year. It's interesting.
That's weird. I love shit like that, though.
Does a movie set armorer generally keep their blanks and dummies locked up?
They should, yes.
Why?
To avoid any disturbance of them, anyone, again, it's just like chain of custody in court or the law enforcement world or any world where you have evidence moving from point A to point B. You need to have one person in control of it. More hands on it or incorrect hands on it can open up the door for accidents and things to go wrong.
In your experience,
Or there are 53 Thursdays this year, though, because today's
Do-
Thursday. Yeah, today's the leap year day. So maybe there's 53 Thursdays this year.
Sounds like a song. 53 Thursdays.
actors
And my wife gets paid on Thursday, so maybe she'll get an extra one.
generally do their own safety checks of the weapon. And what I mean by that is the actor is manipulating the
100%
gun, taking the ammunition in and out, looking at it.
You know, I've worked with a few actors that wanted to check their own weapons even after my safety checks occurred, just because they felt more comfortable doing that. As long as I was there standing and observing and letting them do that, as long as my safety checks occurred, they can do as many more safety checks as they feel. However, those safety checks are more for a warm and fuzzy feeling for them, not for me as a professional. Because I'm going to make sure that we check it the way that I need to check it in front of the right people and individually. If they feel like they need to do it again, then by all means.
Okay.
But that's rare.
In your experience,
Yeah, I think we're going to see it also, Dan, but SB coming through and saying she should have gotten fired the second she held that shotgun with a barrel pointed to her face. They show a scene here where they're sitting up or whatever's going on, but she's seen in the background of the situation that they're setting up for this film, and she's just holding a fucking rifle. He said shotgun. I'm not sure which one, but just holding it, dude, and it's literally just over her face, like just
sitting on the ground and pointing up towards her face?
Just
whoa.
Just like hanging out. Like
Hannah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Dude, it's crazy.
And this was that
is
early? That was kind of early on?
Like in this
shooting?
testimony?
Like in filming?
Yeah, it was before the shooting. I don't know how early or what point, but yeah, they show it during this, so we should see it.
How long do we know how long they were filming before this happened?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't
think
know
Jensen
how long they'd already been
Ackles
on
had
this.
only been there for like 2 weeks. Or
Okay.
been filming for 2 weeks. And he was there, and he was almost done with his stuff. I remember him saying it in his interrogation.
So I guess, will they like kind of mess with the plot a little bit? Will he still be in the movie? I wonder if they'll completely.
I think
'cause
he
I know
quit.
he didn't.
I don't think he.
Okay, he just completely
I think he
quit.
quit. Yeah.
the director
That's a good
I
question.
could be
I don't know.
wrong.
usually
but I think he
allowed
did.
to handle the
Hey,
weapons.
Mona says about 2 weeks too. So
No,
it
the
seems
director
like you're on the right
generally
track
almost
there.
never.
Yeah, I
handles
think he
the
was
weapon.
one of like they were getting his stuff
And
out of the
why?
way, so he was probably
Just,
there for the
just-
entire filming, and then this happened.
It's not in his or her purview. I mean, the director is very much 100% the creative driving force of the film, and in that area, they're very much focused. So handling a weapon or doing anything with weapons, other than saying I want it to look like this or look like that, or this is what I
Oh, man,
want
the
to happen in
Jensen
the
Ackles
scene, would
interview
be
is
about the
really,
extent.
really
But
good.
handling them, no.
I haven't
The-
watched the whole thing, but
The interrogation.
yeah,
I've not seen that one. That's the only one I haven't
I'd
seen.
call it interview. He's not being interrogated.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, you're right.
But anyway,
It is definitely an interview. It's
it's really
definitely
good.
not interrogation.
right? But it's really good.
They
because-
interrogated him. No.
because he's clearly someone who knows weapons. Like for
Oh,
one,
really?
He's been on shows that have had to have armor and
Right,
use
right.
guns.
That's
But he
so
also
interesting.
himself is a weapons guy. So
Oh shit.
he says that like when he got on set, Hannah is showing she first will ask you like, what's your experience with guns and stuff. And he said that he jokingly told her, well, not really jokingly, but kind of messing with her, like trying to see where she's at and her, like what level she's at.
Mm-hmm.
He told her, well, just assume I don't know anything. Right. So, she goes through the motions and they go out to the range. And this is an example of why they would have live bullets, because they did practice. Like, I'm assuming when she takes an actor out to get used to handling a gun, they use live ammo in it, like a range.
Right.
So this is an example why they might have live ammo around, maybe not on set, but near set. Because I agree, there never be any on set. But which I can make an argument for that too. Like if you have a shot where there's literally nobody in range of the gun, like in the in front of the gun, then I could make an argument you could totally use a real bullet, right? Like as long as the guy you're comfortable with the actor being safe with the weapon.
I think the issue there would be nobody's really comfortable with bullets or guns.
Well, like I said, you can take some,
because there's never not going to be a point where there's not a crew around you, and everybody's not going to be.
But in front of the camera, I mean, like as long as
Right.
nobody's in front of the camera, like say you're getting a shot where like they're shooting into a wall or a hillside or something.
Yeah,
I would think that would be okay as long as the actor has like you're comfortable that the actor has good safety protocol.
yeah. See, I don't think any of that. That's none of all that's up in the air, man. Like you can't. I don't think so.
But anyway, so Jensen says that she shows him the ropes and hands him the gun, and this thing's fully loaded, and he just goes out there and fucking fires off 6, like he knows what he's doing.
Right.
And then she goes, "Oh, you asshole, you prick, you're good, get out of here." She clears him.
Gotcha.
Obviously, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, because he's actually familiar with guns.
But he also, I thought was interesting, which I didn't think about. Somehow I didn't think about when we did a previous show on this, is because I was trying to think about how do you ensure that the gun it has dummies in it. He said, I mean, it's so simple. I don't know how I didn't think of it, but he said he literally just points the gun at the ground and fires 6 shots into especially if it's a revolver type with the cylinder.
Yeah.
He just points it at the ground and fires 6 shots into the ground. If that proves that they're all dummies. If it never goes off, then they're dummies.
Right. I'm gonna have to check that out. Is it super
also
long?
Actually says that armorers hate that because they talk about how it can damage the firing pin, which is bullshit. I mean, a gun is made to fire many times. Like, yeah, it's gonna eventually, over time, maybe it wears down a little bit, but it's silly for that to be an excuse for you to not truly test every bullet in the gun.
Yeah.
He said he does it every time, though. He said they hate it, but he does it every time.
He's like, that's my only move. They can suck my dick.
Which is brilliant. Like, everybody should do that.
Yeah. That's cool. Oh, yeah, I need to check that out. I mean, that's the only one I haven't seen. I know there's others out there that I've not seen that it's not rapid, that's just not going everywhere, but I've definitely not seen his.
I mean, for example, if I'm handed a gun that's not mine, like a friend comes over and they hand me a gun to check out.
Yeah.
The first thing I do, make sure there's no magazine, cock it to make sure there's nothing in the chamber, point it at the ground, and I fire it. I do all of those steps just to make sure it's empty. And then I don't give a fuck what I do with it because I know it's empty.
Right.
Like I can hold it like this and the barrel could be pointed at somebody. I'm not worried about it.
Right.
That person may be afraid of it, but I'm not worried about it personally. And I try not to do that because
yeah,
you're
not actually going to be doing that. But I see what you're saying.
But I mean, like if I'm holding it flat in my hand,
right,
and the barrel's like just happens to be directed at somebody, like that doesn't bother. I'm not that worried. Obviously, I'm not going to fucking point it at somebody, even if it's empty. I know it's empty because people are very uncomfortable.
People get freaked out. Yeah.
But I mean, like if it's like my best friend and we're both super comfortable with guns, then it's not that big of a deal. Like it's not if you accidentally waved it across, not even accidentally, but just waved it across. I mean, you'd never do something like that. But if you just did, like you both know it's empty and you're both comfortable, like it's just one of those things. Like I've hung out with guys that were in the Marines, and he was demonstrating like break-in stuff. Like if somebody broke into your house, what are you going to do? And he was using a real gun as his demonstration. But I knew it was empty. He knew it was empty. We were both like, it doesn't bother me at all. As long as I'm able to check the gun, I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. If you're the armorer on a busy movie set, and you need to use the bathroom, do you just let some other people take over your role?
Well, you can let other people take over momentarily if you collect up all items, put them in an area, and do what's called a fire watch. In other words, you can bring over the prop master or someone who's in your department that's trusted, not just anyone, but someone who's trusted in your department, generally the prop master, and say, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. Then they will stand there and watch, not touch, just watch that cart or those items once they've been collected up until you get back. But it has to be someone, obviously, that understands, what safety protocol is.
In your experience, should a prop master be loading and unloading weapons?
That's a particular question because some prop masters are actually also armorers as well, and they have, it all gets down to a lot of the ATF regulations where prop masters are put on, and for lack of a better term here, on the books of whoever's firearms license is providing those weapons. So if the firearms provider has put the prop master and the armorer on their books, and they are qualified to handle the weapons and have been trained in safety and implementation of these weapons, well, in that case, yes, the prop master could step in. And there are some very good prop masters that are also excellent weapon handlers in Hollywood. And I've worked with several of them. However, in generalities, no, if you're not a trained prop master, that's why prop masters hire an armorer to do the job.
Would you
Oh, he
expect
also
a prop
mentioned
master
how
who has
typically
never
when they load the guns,
shot a real
they
gun
do-
before to be
Can you pause it real quick?
placed with the
sorry.
responsibility?
Typically, when they load the guns, they actually do it in front of the actor, and they'll physically shake the dummy round to show them so they can hear the BB before they load it, and they do that for each single bullet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I heard that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's for scenes that require dummy rounds. Of course, for scenes that require blank rounds, where you can't do that. It's basically a real round without a bullet on it, right? It's going to cause an explosion, and
That's the one that has like the
really
weird
test
ending
those.
though. It has like the crinked end. or
they're
whatever.
crimped. Yeah.
You can tell it's not real.
But those are considered, hot guns. There should never be. I mean, you could put somebody in front of a gun that's verified to be cold, as in verified to have dummy rounds in it, but you can't put somebody in front of a gun that has blanks. I don't care if they're 50 feet away. You can't point a gun with blanks in it at somebody.
Yeah.
Because it still causes an explosion. I mean, again, like we mentioned last time, is how the Crow died. He had what's called a squib in the barrel of the gun, which is basically like if a round is quarter loaded or something like that, which means the gunpowder inside the casing is just quarter loaded.
Right. Not a full
load,
or
which
whatever.
we've heard all this in the
Yeah, I've heard
trial.
that a few times. I get that.
If it's shot, then there's a possibility, and there's a projectile on the end. There's a bullet on the end of the entire round. Then that bullet may not make its way out of the barrel, right? It may get stuck in there.
Yeah.
So and this is what happened on the Crow. That gun was then reused without the barrel being checked, and that squib was still in the barrel. So then when a blank was put in for the scene, that the pressure from the blank was enough to push that squib out and hit Brandon Lee.
Killed Brandon Lee. Yeah, that was, again, I think we talked about that before, 1993.
Yeah.
So we're fucking 30 years later. I think that was the last time anything like this has happened. Like, I don't think I've seen anything else. So
that was definitely
and
the
it was a different situation, but still, like.
Yeah, I don't know if there's not a lot. There's really not a lot when you do research on it. There's not a lot of them.
Ability of loading and unloading weapons.
No.
Why not?
Because I'm assuming that if they've never shot a weapon or handled a weapon, then they would, and that's an assumption for this particular, if we're talking about the prop master on this particular show, admittedly did not have any firearms experience at all, and that would not be someone I would want to be handling a weapon in any aspect.
Would it be adequate if you have a prop master on set and it's a busy set, just to spend 10 minutes training them how to load and unload the guns and then give them that responsibility?
Yeah, I do not believe that 10 minutes would adequately be able to train somebody with safety of firearm.
What do you think it would entail for someone to really be able to do that and do it safely?
At the very minimum, and I've pushed for this in film for a long time, at the very minimum, you know, a 40-hour week training session with proper firearm safety handling, a minimum certification of 40-hour certification, I would think. And that would be the absolute minimum before you could actually, you understand this isn't the same thing as having a weapon that you have at home and you want to be safe at your home and make sure that you know how to handle it and no one can do anything wrong with that weapon, and you're, you know, being a citizen, if for lack of, you know, to better term with it. It's a difference between also stepping into the role of a safety professional on a movie set where you have other people's responsibility to look at. So that would require a lot more.
And are you actually a firearms instructor?
I am.
And how long have you been an instructor?
I've instructed on and off for 20 years prior to my film, and then I also instructed in film
There's another thing
as well,
called a flag
out of 100%
that you can put into a firearm that basically ensures it's safe. It's literally a giant. It's basically a plastic thing that you put into the chamber, and then the flag's hanging out, so it's visible to everyone.
Yeah.
Just now, you know, that weapon's like you could Google and show a picture of it. Like just do a firearm flag. It's just super visible. Everybody knows that weapon is safe. I'm actually surprised they don't do that in like gun stores. Have flags in their guns.
I see. Let me see. Is it like a little tiny piece of like plastic?
I've seen.
I see it for like an AR type situation.
It's usually like an orange, like literally looks like a flag. Do a handgun flag maybe.
Like that.
There you go. Yeah, it's like an orange. Yeah, it sticks out, and you know, everybody can see it. You stick it into the chamber. It literally prevents the gun from firing, and you know, everybody can see it very clearly, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, like I said, I'm surprised that because somebody mentioned like if you have a firearm as evidence, they put a zip tie on it. Like I'm surprised they don't put a flag
I have seen
in it.
that. Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't put a flag in it, and I'm surprised the gun stores don't do the flag thing either.
It was on Twitter, and I apologize for who told me this, but it was actually this prosecutor. She was what was her name? Carrie Morrissey. She was actually doing, I don't know how long it's been ago. She looks different than she does now, but she was in some, I wish I had all the details. I did at the moment, but there was another case, and it was another trial that she was prosecuting, and they were messing with a gun, and it was like an AR style gun. And as the guy that she was kind of, I don't know, you know, what relationship he was, and I'm sure he was who was giving the testimony, but, you know, had him out from the stand, and he was holding the gun, but they had one of those zip ties on it. So they're sort of, whatever's in the situation that's going on, it's literally this lady, and they're going through the motions of what would have been happening in the incident. Again, I wish I had the details. So she's grabbing the gun. They're kind of reenacting what would have been happening. While this is happening, the tie comes off somehow. And a police officer, like whoever was there, I don't know if it was the bailiff or whatever, but he just comes straight up. Like he stops it himself. He didn't wait for the judge. He just stops them. He's like, listen, I'm taking this. Like, this is over. Like, you know, and I'm sure they were 1,000% that thing was empty, but still just the freakiness of it.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying, like when you're in a gun store and you're like checking, you want to buy a gun, like you want to feel the grip. You want to hold it like a gun. You know,
right.
Good practice is not to put your finger on the trigger. But what if it's somebody that doesn't really have experience? I mean, anybody can buy a fucking gun. Somebody that's never even shot
scary
one,
as fuck,
or hasn't like had any experience can go into a store and buy a gun. I mean, of course, the store owners know that these things are empty, right? They know for a fact every single gun they have on display is empty, so they're not that worried about it. But I mean, you know, everybody else in the store, you know, it might just freak them out if somebody just like started waving that thing around. You know, I don't know, but
yeah.
Do you remember? I think Bob had a story of him waving a gun around in court.
I don't remember right off. What was he saying?
Pretty sure he had a story. I don't remember the details, but I remember saying
because Bob's not a gun guy. So
yeah, I remember saying that I want the video of Bob waving a gun around in court
Yeah, I could imagine him like just, I don't know, that'd be crazy. He's just, they're like,
If
"Whoa,
anybody
wait."
remembers that,
I don't remember that right off.
say it in the comments, so I'm not delusional. I'm pretty
In
sure
the
he had a
movies,
story
about
about it.
20% the actors want to actually fire a weapon. In those particular cases, it's
Yeah, I'll be right back, dude.
very planned event,
run a piss.
and I have
All this
instructed
water
and
I drink is
trained
fucking me up.
actors in film as well. So I guess you consider it current too. So I guess around 30 years of training.
Okay.
Be right
In
back.
your experience, would it be sufficient if the movie is dealing with single action revolvers, such as this movie? Is the safety check sufficient if the armorer already has the gun loaded, brings the gun to the assistant director, opens the loading gate, and spins the cylinder, but doesn't remove any of the dummies?
No, that's in you could actually look at it in a way that's actually worse than not even looking at it at all, because you have opened the latch on the side of the cylinder, you have spun the cylinder, and you're looking at it from a rear view. So all you see is the end of the back of the base of the bullet, right, of the round. So you cannot identify anything as to what type of round that is in there, except that there are rounds in there. So what you've done effectively is identify that you have a fully loaded weapon, but have no idea what type of rounds you have in there.
And have you seen videos in this case of Mr. Baldwin in the church pulling his gun?
I have.
From a shoulder holster?
From a shoulder holster, correct.
In your experience, is there anything particularly dangerous or difficult about that action that we've seen? And these folks have actually seen those videos now also.
You fall back to the fundamental safety rules, Cooper's safety rules, which everyone in the industry follows, which is muzzle discipline, finger off the trigger, etc. I'm sure you've heard this, ad nauseum so far. So on that lines, as long as you're following those safety rules, you can draw from any position whatsoever. A shoulder holster is simply a shoulder holster, meaning you're going to draw from the opposite side of your strong hand. Cross draw is a belt which is drawn across body from your strong hand, and then you have just a regular drop holster that comes down, which is on your strong side. Doesn't matter which holster, it matters not what you draw from, as long as you're following your safety rules. And it's nothing particularly difficult about drawing from one or the other, just different technique.
Okay. And let me just review my notes real quick.
It's interesting that he didn't mention the cross
In
draw,
your experience,
or even I guess the shoulder holster draw is they are more dangerous than just a regular hip draw, or the drop holster, as he called it, hip draw.
Did he say the hip was more dangerous?
No, he said they were all basically the same.
Gotcha. Because this whole time we've been hearing the pull across your body is the most dangerous thing you can do, right?
Going across, yeah.
The one that he was doing.
As it comes out, you're going across the room, yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe you could make the argument that
Hip,
any
he's
of them
just
are
going straight up.
I guess that you can make the argument that all of them are equally as dangerous just because it's a gun and a bullet, or a gun.
Right. But I mean, you definitely have a wider range of targets if you're going from here to here,
Right?
than if you're just going from here to here.
Especially if you got a whole room full of crew.
I mean, it's notoriously known, not just from this trial, but like as gun people, as a more dangerous way
Holy
to draw
shit.
a gun.
Cagro coming through here. She just became a buzzed and confused level member. Holy shit. Welcome in here, first of all. Nice. Holy crap. That's what I like to see.
This place is dead anyway, man.
Love it. Love it.
Hold up! Hold up!
Hold up. We got a new person up in here. Beers in the chat just flowing through. That's what I like to see. Hell yeah. Welcome in here, Cat Crow.
is the armorer physically present for every scene or take being filmed on the movie that involves a firearm?
Yes. I should
As
preface
a-
that by saying a live firearm, not a prop or a replica.
Understood. And in this particular case, you indicated that you went to the evidence room and you viewed the firearms that are in evidence. Is that right?
That's correct.
So do you have an idea of which guns on this movie set were fake and which guns were actually real operating firearms?
I know of the weapon that Mr. Baldwin was using. I know that he had a replica. I believe it was a Denix replica, and then the real weapon. That was the only two I looked at.
Okay, okay. Have you seen videos in this case that were taken by Production Outfitters, which is a company that does behind-the-scenes footage?
Yes.
I'd like to go ahead and go through some of those with you now.
Okay, sure.
And I see SB in here saying this. Well, he did say as long as he's not pointing to anybody. And also, which was not on this set and is on every other set, it seems that there's fucking bulletproof shields, glass put up. Like, there seems to be, like, a lot of safety precautions that were just, like, whatever here. Like, I mean, that would be such another level of, like, comfort, I feel like. The shield, the bulletproof glass. Like, that would be...
Yeah, I may have missed that. If he specified that, nobody's in front of the draw, then of course
Right.
they're all the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, even with bulletproof glass, like that's just an extra precaution, right? There
Right,
really
yeah.
shouldn't be. There
It's-
really
it-
shouldn't even be a need for that.
No,
It's
no,
just an extra
100%,
precaution,
100%. But I could see that being like that extra level of like, okay,
Just
you
in
know what I
case,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would like that. I really would. Like, I have a gun and I've shot plenty of guns, but they freak me out still, bro. Like,
Well, have you ever
in
watched?
other people's hands, they freak me out. Like,
Have you ever watched MythBusters and felt like they just went overboard? With
Yeah.
with protecting themselves,
yes, yes.
but it's real. I mean,
But at the same time, why would they risk their lives at all? There's the TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no real reason. No, yeah. But okay, come on, guys. Let's calm
Yeah.
down here. But no, they go the
Extra
extra mile. Like, if there's another safety precaution, they're like, oh, can I get 1,000 feet further? Yes, we'll do that. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
I miss that show. It's a good one.
Yeah. But it probably also wasn't up to them. It was up to whoever was insuring them.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Discovery Channel insurance.
Yep.
You're right. Whatever Hollywood insurance.
It's doing that thing again, it sounds like. I hear static.
Get it going.
Okay. We are going to present exhibits 149 through 161 as we go through Mr. Carpenter's testimony. I'd like to go ahead and move for the admission of them now and ask permission to publish.
Welcome in, Dave.
Any objection?
No objection, Your
All
Honor.
right. All right, they're admitted. You may publish 149 through 161.
Okay. Monitor me. All right, great. Mr. Carpenter, can you see your screen there?
50 years old, I need my glasses on, okay?
You and me both. All right, let's, I'm going to play for you State's Exhibit 149. We don't know
Okay.
where the volume is. We'll fine tune it when we
Good stuff
get
here. We're
started.
gonna start showing these videos. Get a little bit deeper, seeing a little bit more from that
I don't hear
Dang,
anything.
here we go. All right, now watch this, man. Like, they do a lot of pausing and talking, but I can hear.
Got a little fight to him. Everyone works right.
Whatever.
Look, big. You're already connected.
I'm gonna just start that over.
Hannah's like, I don't remember this. Well, that's weird. You should have been on the fucking set because everybody's got guns.
A little bit more. Up, a little bit more.
Is she not there?
Oh, I'm not sure. You don't see her. She could be around, I guess. You know, I can't definitively say that, but.
Got a little fight to him. Everyone works right.
When she's wearing a hat, she should be pretty easily seen. She had that wild hair going on.
I'm gonna stop the video.
Hey,
here.
Kaylin, welcome in here.
Well, they
Thanks
said
for
they'd
coming
like
in.
it up a little bit more.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's see if we can.
Well, we can't do. George says it's up to the max.
It's on the max on this one too.
Let me double check what I've got here. Hang on.
Whoa. It's pretty cool
Put the
film.
microphone.
I might have to go watch it. I do watch a lot of
Let me
his
see.
stuff that he does on.
Let me
his
try
channel,
this
his
for
YouTube
y'all.
channel. It's really relaxing. He like builds stuff and makes stuff.
That's awesome.
It's a super cool channel.
And just so you know, because these are behind the scenes filming, I don't think we're really, there isn't a lot of close up audio of when these people are kind of mulling around. Let's go ahead and start over.
Debbie, welcome in here. Thank you.
Yeah, boy. Got a little fight to him. Everyone works right.
So I'm stopping that at 21 seconds. Do you see anything concerning in this video?
And the number one thing is muzzle discipline. That performer, that stunt performer, I'm assuming that's a stunt performer right there, has got what appears to be live weapons, and he's got zero muzzle discipline. He's holding the shotgun, and if you back it up to the beginning, he points it almost directly at, I believe it's Joel Souza, right at the front, or I'm not sure who that is, but he's
This guy.
he's handling that weapon.
Let's get my little
That
finger
weapon
this
should be
guy.
turned down at the ground, muzzle pointed down when he's carrying it, and his pistol should be holstered.
Here's Dave Halls.
Never brought out, which he doesn't, but he carries the shotgun muzzle up. You can back it up a little bit more. Right. Come on back a little bit. Right about all in here. I guess that's the young child actor right there. So these are just examples of muzzle discipline. You never let the muzzle of the weapon cover anything you're not willing to harm. That's rule number 3 of firearms handling.
How is Ms. Gutierrez supposed to be responsible for what this actor is doing with this gun?
Well, from what I can see on the from the camera angles, is I don't know if she's present here, and it appears that they have live weapons out without her presence. If she were present, I would ask that she. Well, I would think that she would tell that performer that you need to put that weapon pointed down at the ground. If she's standing there with him, correct his behavior with the weapon a bit.
So it's her responsibility to correct his unsafe handling of that gun.
I don't object to leading again.
She's repeating his testimony, overruled.
Yes, what you would want to do is, and this is an example of a stunt performer that that I would have replaced if he could not handle the weapon properly and safely after instruction. He would have not had a live weapon.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and let me see if let me just kind of run through it real quick and see.
And it's also more important when you've got a child actor on set or any children on set. It's very important that you, even though you wouldn't say that there are layers of safety, but as a matter of principle and just professionalism, if you've got a child on set, it becomes an exponentially more important to make sure that safety is performed.
Okay,
And
I
it's
have
also industry standard as well with firearms.
just fast forwarded the video up to 53 seconds. And I'm not particularly interested in that young man. Did you see the same stunt performer back there on that patio?
I did.
And what was he doing?
He pointed it directly at the chest of the lady or the person in the white sweater, and then turned it around and pointed it at one of the other performers.
That's how he's asking everybody, what do you want for lunch? What do you want for lunch? Hey, you over there? What do you want for lunch?
Hey, look.
And as the camera pans around, do you ever see Ms. Gutierrez?
I did not see her in that video, no.
And you know what she looked like back in October of 2021?
I do.
Let's move to State's Exhibit 150.
Excuse me.
Be it down here. Yeah, we can say going with him here, join him behind him. And then the brothers come out. Okay. Fleet first comes out and just as he's coming, just snatch him up. Grab him. Put your hand. Only thing you can throw your hand over his mouth. You don't want the screen. Yep. Right.
So we can go wider than the 75. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your concerns, if any, about what we're seeing here?
The same behavior by that same stunt performer is the gentleman in the hood walked by him. He had the muzzle pointed directly to his back. And keep in mind, and this is very important, that knowing what we know now, and the reason we're here in court is that there were live rounds on the set of Rust. So you maintain one of the first safety rules is treat all weapons as they are always loaded. And that's to mitigate any problem that might happen downstream. So you have to assume that there may have been live rounds in any of these firearms that we're watching in these videos. There were live rounds there, so imagine the concern that you would have knowing that at any point in time any of these handguns or long guns could have a live round in it. So then it makes it a lot.
What's so freaky about that is that one did, right? Like, you know, you're thinking, oh, they're on a movie set. And you're not even, none of these actors or personnel are thinking that in the moment. They're like, it's a movie. Dude, it's so freaky to think about that if that's what fucking happened.
More concerning when that double-barrel shotgun's pointed to
They're
that man's
relying
back.
on the professional to
That's so fucked.
take care of
Like,
business, and it wasn't done.
He gets shot, right? And then what do? They come out and grab me?
You're coming out around him. No, that's later. He sort of, you got him. He sort of slides his way free a little bit. You grab. There's not a guy getting.
Now, is it your impression that they're filming a scene right now?
They're prepping to film. They're talking about creative decisions of how they want to speak, talk, stand, the action.
But they're not actually filming a take.
No.
Should these actors and stuntmen already have the guns in their possession if they're not filming?
No.
Oh, well, that's the same spot. Oh, is that later?
This is the spot, yeah. He does get shot. Like this.
So am I just running past? And
Yeah, and they come around the corner. Boom.
then, just like that.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
You're gonna poop up there. He went back holding the. So
So we can just see if
on their back
there's
for.
anything else that I want you to comment about on 150.
They're doing a rough rehearsal here. A rough rehearsal, just going through it.
So for the purposes of the rough rehearsal, is it acceptable for the actors, the camera isn't rolling yet, should they have the live firearms at this point?
If the armor is present and the weapons have been properly cleared, yes, they could have the firearms at this point.
Easy, Hollister. We got y'all. Coming with us now. and now you got to fight your way free. So let go, get loose a little bit, sort of throw an elbow back toward him. Ooh, funky.
Ooh, got a little fight to him. Come on, little piggy.
You could honestly probably wrap the...
Do you still have concerns about that muzzle?
I would tighten that up a bit, just because of what they're doing here and with the young actor in it as well. But yes, and that's just my way of doing things.
Okay, and I'm going to rewind and I want you to listen.
Come on, little piggy.
You could honestly probably wrap the shotgun if you wanted.
Do you know whose voice that is?
I do not, and I did not quite hear that. I've got bad hearing. Sorry.
She said you could probably rack the
Terrible hearing.
shotgun.
I'm not sure what she said. Did she just say it?
Yeah.
Come on, little piggy.
You could honestly probably wrap the shotgun.
I actually do hear Hannah there. That was Hannah.
Is she saying you could probably rack the shotgun?
I think so. That was Hannah's voice for sure. It was.
And I'm going to rewind and I want you to listen.
Come on, little piggy.
You could honestly probably wrap the shotgun if you want.
Rap?
Or maybe she's saying wrap the shotgun.
Maybe she's like actually trying to do some kind of safety there. Wrap it with something?
I think she might
Probably
be saying
like wrap
it
we're done with
around-
it.
No. I think she's saying wrap her with the shotgun, like as a chokehold situation.
Huh.
I mean, they're about to make a point, so let's see what.
Do you know whose voice that is?
I do not, and I did not quite hear that. I've got bad hearing. Sorry. Terrible hearing.
Well, he is a firearms expert.
Come on, little piggy.
He got his earplugs a couple times.
You could honestly probably wrap the shotgun if you wanted.
That's where we like.
Do you know who that female's voice is?
Yeah.
Okay. For the purposes of my next question, let's assume that that is the voice of Hannah Gutierrez.
Okay, and what did she say? I heard shotgun.
Let me replay it for you.
I don't think she meant wrap it and done.
I'll get it wrong.
I honestly think she's saying to wrap the shotgun around the other end.
Got a little fight to him. Come on, little piggy.
You could honestly probably wrap the shotgun if you wanted.
She even said around myself.
Yeah, the kid says, "Oh, around my neck."
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah, we're pulling it out. Baby.
Come on, little piggy.
Well, I think they're about to make the point. We don't.
Got a little fight to him. Come on, little piggy.
You could honestly probably wrap
Yeah,
the
Charlotte, that's what I'm
shotgun
saying. Yeah.
if you wanted.
That's where we like them.
That dude actually shook his head no. Watch this guy. As soon as they say that, he shakes his head no on that. He's like, I don't like that. Watch him.
Yeah.
That's where we like them.
He's still shaking his
Wrap
head.
the shotgun.
Wrap the shotgun.
For the scene, I think
That's
is
right.
probably what they're discussing.
Right. Wrap it around him and hold him in place with it. Right.
So, assuming that's Ms. Gutierrez that we can hear, and she's present,
Right.
what should she be doing with this stuntman that we've seen with his bad muzzle discipline?
Right. She, like I say, tightening him up. Pull him off. Discreetly and starting off, say, hey, look, be careful where you point the muzzle of the weapon. You're swinging it around pretty haphazardly. Hopefully it's already been checked properly. Then give him a little coaching.
And I mean, hang on. If they're so like he's being incredibly strict, in my opinion, incredibly strict.
I mean, this is how it would be, in my opinion. It would be the most strict.
If they're that strict, then why are you using a live gun, a real gun at all for the scene? Just use a replica. They look exactly the same.
Yeah, dude.
Why use a real gun at all for the scene? If you're that,
yeah, they
strict
do
with
bring
it?
up a little bit later. One part I actually did hear. I don't think it's in this. He says, I think it's the defense attorney that asks him. Sometimes some actors do ask to, would prefer to have a real gun, even practicing. And he says he has seen that. Like, it's not often, but it does happen. And in that case, he says you're right there, and for every single take, you are checking that. Like, you don't stop. Like, there's not a moment that you're not doing all of the 4 rules he's mentioning.
Here's my take too. Like, I think he's being like, maybe, I mean, I'm sure this is standard, or he may even be playing it up a little bit. I don't know, but I'm saying, I think that if I can verify the gun is empty and that gun never leaves my sight, I know for 100% fact, I have no doubt in my mind that gun is empty and it's a real gun. I don't mind a man walking around with his finger nowhere near the trigger with that gun, even if it's pointed in the air. And he even says how earlier he talks about how that gun should not be pointed anywhere except the ground, right? And then in this scene, somehow he's kind of okay with it. He says, "Yeah, he's still messing up, but he even acts like he's kind of okay with it." Why is he okay with it in this scene, but he wasn't okay with it earlier? That's got me a little confused.
Yeah, I don't know. Because
she says, "Are you still concerned?" And he does say he's still concerned, but he almost acts like he's kind of okay with it. With the gun, he's still doing the same thing with the gun. He just has another actor in his arms now.
Right.
That part's a little strange to me. It's a little inconsistent to me. And again, I think he's being a little overprotective, because if I as the armorer could verify the gun is empty, and that gun never left my eyesight, then the guy's walking around. If the guy was walking around with his finger on the trigger, and I know it's empty, I'm going to be concerned.
Yeah,
that's bad practice. If the guy's carrying it by the handle, and it's not like, I mean, I don't know. That's me personally.
Everything you're saying now is even going to be tenfold because of how freaked out people are going to be, though.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not an armorer. I'm not a fucking professional, but just me. Like, if it was just me and you hanging out, and I knew that gun was unloaded and you were holding it by the handle, I'm not going to be like.
The point of the movie is that there's so many people around that are not comfortable with a gun at all. Like, they would never want what you're saying to be happening.
Well, they don't care. We just saw a bunch of jovial people walking around.
Well, now they're definitely going to start carrying, but you're right. At this point, but they should have. I disagree. I think they should have still been carrying here. I think it should always be this strict in a setting like this.
And that's a whole different scenario. Yeah, if I was one of the actors on the set, because I can't verify that gun is empty, right? I would be concerned.
You're putting yourself in the armorer's shoes. The last scenario.
Yes, exactly. Gotcha. Like, if I was one of the actors, I would be concerned because I didn't check the gun myself. And they're not letting every single person on set check the gun, right?
Right.
And they probably should, and they should probably at least have the opportunity. The armorer should present every gun on set to everybody that's going to be in the scene or on the set.
Yeah.
With the gun, show them that it's empty. Show them if there's dummies in it. Prove that there's dummies in it. If there's blanks, then it's a whole different story. If there's there wouldn't be live ammo, but if there's blanks, it's a whole different story. I don't know. It's just
it's crazy, dude. It's interesting.
In that circumstance,
I love this argument on this.
In that circumstance, I don't think he's being overprotective, because you're right. The other actors can't confirm. The other crew members can't confirm.
That's what I was thinking about themselves. In that situation. Like, I was like, they would be freaked out. Clearly they weren't at that point in time, honestly, but.
I do wonder though why. Well, again, Mandy, that's why I said if the firearm never left my sight, right? If it left my sight, then I have to reconfirm, right? I have to do my checks all over again,
right?
But I do wonder why he said, because I really don't want to back it up, but if he did kind of like, because there was a point where that scene started where he has the girl, in the chokehold thing. And she asked him, "Are you still concerned?" And he kind of thinks about it. He's like, "Yeah," but he's literally doing the exact same thing with the gun. So why did he didn't even think about it the first time.
Right.
He was like, "No, this is all wrong." And this time he was kind of like, "Yeah."
Yeah, maybe the first time where they were like literally just walking around the set, and this time they're actually rehearsing.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what.
That's the only real difference. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just fast forwarding to see if there's any other places I want to stop.
Yeah, I think that's probably standard, is to show cast and crew, like, as they're loading it, even. They show everybody involved.
It's also of note here is if you're going to use that scene that way and you're going to handle the shotgun, then clear the crew out, get some proximity, in areas of safe zones that you operate within. It's a lot of people walking in and out, and there's a lot of crew in and out of there, you just need to get that whole area under control a bit better.
Okay. And where I've stopped it here, I have stopped State's Exhibit 150 at 5 minutes and 2 seconds. What do you see with regard to that shotgun right now?
It's pointed at the child, I say the young child actor, young actor. And it's not, understand that if you're seeing, there are scenes in movies that require, weapons to be pointed in certain directions, but you take safeguards and measures prior to that. Just standing in the middle of a rough rehearsal and doing this thing is one level above him walking around with it in between takes.
Okay. And should the actors or stuntmen walk around with their live firearms in between takes?
No. In this exact scene, the gun's pointed right at the kid. I mean,
why not?
Again, it opens the door to any unsafe act that might occur, from loss of the weapon, like we talked about, to leaving it somewhere. I've seen all of these things occur on a movie set, to lack of control. And at the end of the day, control is how you manage safety.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Sam, can we wire bone and cleat, please?
Is that really what the movie's about?
I've heard that. I see Jay has said that in chat, but I have actually saw other people say that online.
Wow.
Where's Sam?
Are you gonna aim like that? Yeah. A little higher. Nobody's gone.
Is that
right
her?
there,
Was that Hannah?
In between takes.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Sam?
Are you gonna aim
I don't think so,
I don't
right?
think so.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
a little higher. Nobody's gone.
And right there, were we in between takes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And again, do you see anything problematic?
Same stunt performer, I would have taken that weapon away from him well before all of that.
Okay.
Or instructed him, and if he couldn't follow instruction, I would have taken it away from him.
Okay. State's Exhibit 151.
I don't even have the curtain.
There she was. There she is. Okay, she's there.
Do you see
There she is holding the
there?
gun. Yeah.
Yeah, holding the gun right at her face.
And you've seen this video before, right?
I have.
I'm at 8 seconds, just for the record. What is Ms. Gutierrez doing?
She's holding that double-barrel shotgun pointed up at her neck and face.
It could be.
Why would that be
pointed towards
concerning
the
to
air.
you?
It could be.
Never let the muzzle of the weapon cover anything you're not willing to harm. It's a fundamental safety rule. You treat all weapons as they're always loaded. Also fundamental safety rule.
How would you expect proper gun safety on a movie set if the armorer is not following basic gun safety?
That's a very good question. It would be hard to implement.
All right. State's Exhibit 152. Same problem with that guy in that video?
Same problem.
Same guy.
And I don't know where Ms. Gutierrez is. Of course, the camera's only facing one direction, so I don't know if she's behind camera or anything, but I don't see her present.
And if she is present, she's supposed to do something about that, right?
Well, you take the weapon up in between scenes. In between any usage on camera, you take the weapons up.
Okay.
Secure them.
I just
And
wonder,
what-
did they talk about were these weapons that shotgun, was it loaded at any point during any of that? Did they know if it was loaded with anything? Because he keeps talking about the rule, which is a good rule. Don't point at anything that you don't intend to shoot, right?
Right.
Or kill. But in movies, they do all the time. They load pistols with dummy rounds and point it at things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that rule doesn't exist anymore. Like, it's a real gun. Yes, it's loaded with dummy rounds, but they're still pointing it at cameras, and you know what I mean?
Like in the actual scene.
Yeah. Like that rule doesn't exist anymore. It's a great rule. Don't get me wrong, but you should typically follow that rule for sure. At least 99.999% of the time. But
yeah,
I mean, there's definitely scenes on a set where you're not following that rule.
Yeah, I would agree, honestly.
And he's literally
what he's explaining now is between like where they just nothing's happening.
I understand.
He's saying he's so anal, and
But
again,
he's
I
saying
agree
never.
with him. You
He's
take
literally
it
saying
every
never.
time. It's in my hands immediately. You don't
Right.
even get it until it's action. Like
Like
he's
all of
mentioned
that-
earlier,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a countdown to the seconds. That's when you get the gun.
Yeah.
Like,
and like I agree with him and all that stuff. But I mean, I just hate when he like using the word never when there's definitely situations where you do.
all right, now, that's a good
especially on a
point.
movie set.
That's definitely a good point.
We'll go through that a little bit. What is the
If you
armor
literally
supposed
never
to do
did, you would never
if
need bulletproof glass and all that. You know what I mean? You would never need any of that stuff because you would literally never be pointing a real firearm anywhere near a person ever. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got 3 or 4 actors or stuntmen that all have weapons and we're in between takes. Are you really required to go and collect those weapons from those actors and stuntmen?
That is correct. And if you can't do it on your own, then you need to put an additional armorer on set that can do it with you. And so I've worked in scenes where we've had hundreds of extras, and we did the miniseries Roots. We did the Battle of Fort Pillow there, and we had, I think I had, guessing had 18 armorers on that day, or 16. It was a lot. Exact number I can't remember. But I've had many gunfight scenes where you had a multitude of people shooting machine guns and around. And if you're skilled enough that you can maintain control in one small area of take, in other words, if they're filming a gunfight scene and it's just the area of the juror's box, then it's easy to control. But if they're spread out over a large area, you need additional help. But yes, you take them up in between scenes.
States Exhibit 153.
Full time. Bounce bed?
Is there a reflection issue on those windows or no?
No. I'm staying out of it. Hey, girl, Mark. And set, ready, and action. Please. Whoa. Easy, Hollister. You're coming with us now. Please. Coming, come on. Oh. You're out too good. We'll see. Calm yourself down a little bit. Take a deep breath. Okay. Margo, we need to find a way there.
I still think you need to be coming out a little sooner, if possible.
Yeah?
You city kitty.
So, was it your impression from watching that video that they were actually filming a take at that point?
Yes.
And what happened when the filming was over?
The camera panned around approximately 90 degrees left.
Well, let me ask you this. What happened with the actors' guns when the take was over?
I didn't see the full end of it, but they were still holding them, standing there with them.
Okay. And is that the point when the armorer is supposed to come in and take them away?
Yes, exactly. And if you're filming the scene, they can be secured right there. You can have your cart that you work off of. You're doing this scene. This is the scene with the firearms in it. You can assume, unless they're using a B unit, which is a secondary filming unit, you're only filming one scene at one time. So whatever that scene is that you're filming, you can be right there present to it, and then the camera goes to the next scene. So it's not as if there were 4 or 5 scenes filming simultaneously.
Okay. So in this particular video, or in this particular circumstance, is it your opinion that Ms. Gutierrez needed to, when the camera stops, go in, take the weapons, and keep them secured until the next rolling of the film.
Your Honor, objection leading.
I think it's a direct question. I don't think it's leading.
Yes, unless, of course,
Question summarizing his testimony, so go ahead.
yes, unless, of course,
the judge rule
Yeah,
on it.
no, I said that in chat earlier. Like, I was like, basically, the judge listens to this lady.
Yeah.
Like, everybody but the defense, like that dude. What's his name? His name's Jason Bowles, I think. He's the only person that stands up to this chick. Like, I hate her.
Really funny.
Like,
He's like, it's a direct question. Go ahead, sir.
I don't like her at all, dude. Like, I really don't. Is she the dude that's like with her? There's another prosecutor. I got his name too. Jason Lewis. This other dude. He looks like he's so meek. Like he's like, oh God, He had to show her something. She's just flowing, and like he wanted to show her something on a laptop, but she was like messing something up, and she's like, oh no, that ain't gonna work. And he's like, no, I just wanted to show you something real quick.
It's really funny.
It cracks me the fuck up.
they're going to still be in that scene. Let's assume that the weapons were properly cleared, made safe, and this is what I was talking.
Fix that real quick, son of a bitch. That's so crazy.
About initially. If they're never going to change anything and they're going to continue to film that scene over and over again, then sure, leave it with the performers as long as you're standing there watching them. But the minute that they walk off from in front of that camera, the weapons come back to the car or come back to the armor. If they're in front of camera standing right there and they're like, hey, stand right there, nobody move, 30 seconds, we're going to roll again, and then we can do that all day long if you want to.
So, in your experience, when the armorer takes the weapons from the actor, and then, a few minutes later, we're now filming we're going to do another take of that same scene. What's the procedure? Do you just hand the guns right back to the actors?
No, redundancy is never a thing when it comes to safety. So you want to be redundant. Have, one is none, two is one mentality. You take that weapon, you move it back into the scene, you do a quick check. Doesn't take but a moment. Open it up, clear it with your DP, clear it with your first AD, show the actors clear, and hand it back out. Moments.
And when you do that, are you showing them the ammunition?
If they're using dummies, yes.
Okay. And you're showing them the same ammunition again?
That's right.
Okay. States Exhibit 154.
Ready, and action. Come on, kids. Let's go.
I don't understand. He's gonna die.
Okay, let's reset.
I mean, she's not doing anything wrong. If she's able to control the situation, then why not?
Do you have any?
I'm talking about the
concerns
lawyer.
Just same, pretty much the same as before.
Yeah, I mean,
Same guy, same behavior.
Same guy.
States Exhibit 155.
Almost. A wire.
So like,
Careful with the human behind you.
so you just shoot it like this, right?
And what are we doing here? States Exhibit
Yeah, that was a little
155.
crazy.
He actually did a 360-degree muzzle discipline breach on that one. So he went around in a full circle with the muzzle at everyone in the vicinity, and then he handed the weapon to the young actor.
And in a circumstance like this, what is the responsibility of the armorer?
Just to intercede. I mean, I would have walked in, let's just assume this is the first time I saw this, and I was standing right behind where you're seeing camera. I would have saw him with the muzzle. I just said, hey, Bill, or whatever his name is. I just say, hey, Bill, listen, make sure you keep that thing slung down while I'm sitting here watching you if we're about to, do this scene. Now, if we're not about to do the scene, he doesn't even have the weapon at all, so it's a moot point. But let's assume that we're just about to film this, and I've given it and done the safety checks. And if I had seen him handing a weapon off to anyone, much less a young, underage person, that would have been the end of that. He would not have been handling a weapon anymore. In my, if anything to do with me personally.
Let's say hypothetically you do that. You say, that's it. You don't get to handle weapons anymore. And let's say somebody from production comes to you and says, look, that guy needs to handle that weapon. What do you do?
And this exact thing has happened before, and I've been in that exact predicament before, and or I shouldn't say predicament, I should say situation, because it's only that if you allow it to be. I told them, I said he's unsafe with the weapon handling, and I've instructed him. He is not listening, and I'm not going to have an accident occur on the set, and I don't want it, and you sure don't want it.
It's only a predicament if you allow
need
it.
Something we can give him a replica. We can change it up. He doesn't need to use. We can go get a replica, this, that, or the other that he can use. We're not firing in this scene, so it should be fine. Or maybe we just hand him off a replica handgun, and he doesn't even use a long gun in the scene. We use a stick or a staff or whatever. There are ways around this, and at the end of the day, it's always been a suggestion placed correctly and professionally is generally listened to.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just finish that.
All right, here we go. Good. Hold it hard, right. That button is to be unbuttoned.
It is also, I mentioned earlier how they're typically military or
Weapon was taken back.
I'm sure that's been mentioned in the case, but they're also usually incredibly strict, and he is.
That's a good point too.
He's
yeah.
strict.
Yeah.
He's on his shit.
From the child, are you still seeing that same bad behavior from that stunt performer?
Yeah, he's toying with the weapon at this point.
State's Exhibit 156.
We need a Bernie pad.
Okay, carry on. Go ahead, put it on. Put it in and put it on 24. Then I go 3, 2, 1. There you go. All right, Candy, I'm going hot. Yeah, do it.
And
It's
did you
chaos
just see,
on those sets
Ms.
too.
Gutierrez?
Like, you have to.
So many people, so many things going on.
Yeah, you have to keep control of that shit. You have to constantly take it away, give it back, take it away, give it back, because
I think that really is the best
too
way.
much.
Like,
There's too much going on. Yeah,
dude. Because I mean, like you were saying, if you're the armorer, but everybody else, hundreds of other people, other cast and crew, there's just too much.
And what if you got more than one
chaos.
gun on set too?
And then in this situation, you have where she would leave guns and the cart unattended.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what could happen. Like, God forbid anybody would want to do anything fucked up. But I mean, that's what keeps that away. Like, you keep a tight, strict rule set.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just willy nilly around that shit because it's you know why? You know why, dude? Because of this situation this lady's in.
Yeah.
Like, she could have prevented this by being professional on the set. I mean, by being
organized.
Organized, that's the word. Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, it sucks. Like, honestly, it's crazy.
And assertive. And being there and doing her job. I mean,
yeah, dude.
She's truly not doing her job.
Honestly, you know what? She would have probably been fired. She should have been fired. Like, do your job. Be an asshole. Don't let Alec Baldwin or whoever the fuck bully you around, because now look at you, right? That's an example or a lesson for anybody, dude. Like, yeah, I was saying that Tuesday. Like, you have to stand up, even in the face of bullshit. Your job, your boss. I mean, I could understand a situation where you'd want to, or even have to think that you have to do something. But fuck, man, like.
Go ahead, put it on. Put it in and put it on 24. Then I go 3, 2, 1. There you go. All right, Candy, I'm going.
Do you see what she's doing?
Yeah, she's just walking in frame, in front of frame.
Oh, he's.
Does she have anything in her hand?
Could you back up one more time, please? I was watching the stunt performer behind him. Okay, she's carrying the double barrel shotgun, it looks like. Muzzle end up.
Is that a proper way to carry that gun?
It is not.
Is that a safe way to carry that gun?
It is not. And you see the stunt performer in the rear swinging that handgun around, which what I was watching. He was actually pointing. He was talking and pointing with his firearm. Now, you asked previously why you don't hand off live firearms to stunt performers. One of the reasons, there's your reasons right there. If they don't have it in their hand until they need it, then there's no chance of them being unsafe with it.
I wonder how she feels right now, seeing this truly professional person that's in her field.
Yeah.
And
shit.
and all of her mistakes were being fucking put on display. How the fuck does she feel right now,
dude? Yeah, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah, another lesson, like for anybody out there.
Get up to what you're describing. You saw that in this video.
Yes, it's the guy with the
Right there.
right there. He's talking and discussing what he's doing and using his.
Yeah, look at him. He's just throwing the gun around like.
Yep.
Again,
And
we have to assume all weapons are always loaded, and in this case, may well have been.
Okay.
That's what's scary in this case.
I do wonder,
May
like,
as well. May have
Don't talk among yourselves.
and I saw somebody mention earlier because Alec Baldwin didn't want them to, but why not just use replicas in scenes? Like,
I know, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, dude. Like,
Or anyone else about the evidence received here in court.
this went on for a while. Today was probably the best day. But that was what I really missed right there, and I wanted to kind of just watch it with everybody here tonight and make a show out of it, Dan. But man, it's been fucking interesting, dude. Dave Halls was interesting today.
That guy is insanely educated,
dude. Yeah,
not just with firearms, just period. Like,
yeah,
very well spoken. That was pretty insane.
Yeah, he was quick-witted. Like he had like a little phrase or something for almost every little thing.
I really liked how he said, put in that predicament. Well, I should say situation because it's only a predicament if you
nailed it, dude.
Let it be that way.
He crushed it.
Fucking so good.
Crazy.
So David Hall also testified today?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
dude. And that was super interesting. He was just a bumbling fool. It was crazy.
Was he defending himself? Were they like, because he was
a little bit? Yeah, I mean they were kind of like coming at him. The defense attorney. That was when it got more interesting. Was when I think I got that guy's name.
So who
Bowles.
called
I
him
think
as
it's
a
Bowles.
witness? Prosecution?
Yeah, he was on the prosecution's witness list. Yeah, I mean at one point even the defense went at him with like, I don't remember it exactly verbatim, but essentially, going through everything that happened, and he's like, and he was going up in, you got the plea, your probation's already over. He's like, well, this is all already over for you, isn't it? After they were going through all the horrible stuff that he was definitely a part of as well, and basically making it look like you're done here, right? And then objection, and like so they were kind of getting into him a little bit at that. So I mean, the jury is definitely seeing that.
Yep.
But I mean, he should fucking be on trial, dude. That dude is no good. Like,
well, he made a deal. He
got a deal. Yeah, he was basically stroking out. Like he was just like literally just like when I called him a bumbling dildo, dude. Like he was just like, oh, you weren't here when I said that. I called him a bumbling dildo. He was just like it was crazy. Like
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be worth going back and watching too. Honestly, you could make a whole show out of that. It lasted for 3 hours. Then they got the prop master on at the very end. She's still up. I think I think she'll start tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I missed a good
Sarah
day.
Zachary.
It sucks.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what sucks. That's why honestly I enjoy kind of doing this because we're all busy. We all go through our days. Hopefully if you're on the replay after this, you get to check this out. And it's a little brief snippet because these long streams are, I mean, literally Jay streams for freaking 8-9 hours. So there's a lot, and it's easy to miss stuff. So I think this is pretty cool. Yeah, everybody just coming in and hanging out. I really freaking appreciate it. Right now, Jay's making a short right now about it. Keep an eye out for that. Thank you, brother, for sending everybody over here. Really freaking appreciate it. Actually, let me set up your portal as well. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a Feral Friday. Of course, we'll start here 9 p.m. Eastern time. Hang out here for a little bit, and then we'll be going over to Kick. And I think we are actually going to go into episode 6 of Twin Peaks. I do want to finish season 1. Maybe we'll watch a couple episodes tomorrow. We'll see. Let me find you here, Jay. But what do you think about that, Dan? You think that sounds good?
I was reading chat. What'd you say?
I don't see your link, Jay, if you don't have it up yet. Watching Twin Peaks tomorrow night on Kick after we hang out here for a little bit. Yeah, probably talk about this trial tomorrow on here before we go to Kick. But you never know. I don't see a link.
Well, tomorrow, I don't know. I might take off tomorrow because I might hang out with a buddy tomorrow night.
Okay.
But I'll keep you posted.
Well, keep me posted, and then I'll fill
But I mean,
it out.
if you watch Twin Peaks, it'll be. I mean,
yeah, that'll be either way.
I don't need
so.
to be there. You know what I mean?
Cool. Well, it's cool. Either way, we'll be hanging out and we'll do something here tomorrow night. So keep your eyes peeled on Twitter, and I'm sure I will see everybody in the chats as well. But yeah, Murder Church, 9 p.m. Sunday, per the usual. But yeah, keep your eyes on everything because you never freaking know what might come down the pike, and this one is fucking interesting. Yeah, don't cross streams. Tao Toys coming through here. The man, Phil in the house.
I need to watch that episode. I'm actually gonna look it up right after this.
Thanks everybody. Which episode?
That tested Adam Savage's YouTube channel.
Oh, I saw you guys talking about that earlier. Yeah. I didn't know he had a channel. That's pretty cool.
I'm allowed to take a Friday off, Mandy. No, it's a buddy that I haven't hung out with in a while, and tomorrow might be the only day. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if it's happening. So
yeah, it's all good. Yeah, we'll figure it out. And again, I'll probably just be watching Twin Peaks on Kick anyway. So I mean, hang and bang. Maybe there'll be a special guest. You never know. I may bring somebody in. If I end up here and Dan ain't here, you never know who might get booked. Oh Lord, shit might get crazy in Publicly Buzzed. It wouldn't be the first time. I'll tell you that. A mystery guest coming through. No, thank you, Patricia. Thank you all, seriously, for coming in, hanging out, doing it. Did I say 9 p.m.? 9 a.m. for Murder Church. Thank you, Kaylin. And Mandy is very, very mad that you're not going to be there. She's freaking out. Let's see. I'm waiting on.
I'm co-owner, kind of. I guess maybe I'm not.
You are. What do you mean?
I mean, not really. I really don't do anything except for show up, so I don't feel comfortable saying that. She said I should have put my PTO in already. I can fucking take off whenever I want to.
He can do whatever he wants. Dan's allowed to take time off. Every once in a while. Yeah, you gotta put. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna make a system where you gotta put in. You know, we need a calendar. You gotta put that in. I haven't got any staff, so just for you asking.
I need to start getting paid first, and then we can make.
Yeah, I don't have any actual staff or payments happening. I'm a literal one-man show here.
You really are.
I have a co-host. I have an amazing co-host who's my literal brother.
Yeah.
That's right. Dance the key grip, baby. Dance the key grip. Key grip. I'm a one-man show that can barely even function.
I'm the IT guy for the most part.
That's true too. That's actually true.
That's my actual contribution. It's
co-host, IT guy. Yeah, I like that. That's right. I like that. Ashley, thank you so much again for that 20. That's insane. You guys are nuts. Jersey Jen, have a great night. I'll see you in the chat tomorrow, everybody. Catgrow getting up in the membership here tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Crazy. Hit the like as you head out if you did not do that. And then Sunday, I'm trying my damnedest to get the third Idaho for the series episode out. I think it's going to happen. I did a little bit more work last night. I still need to do a lot of work, but I think Saturday I should be able to put that thing to bed. So keep an eye out for that this weekend as well. I'm not going to say that's 100%, but that's probably 90%. I don't stop, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Dan the milkman, the IT guy.
I bring the milk and I bring the tech.
He does. Yes, Cat Girl. I hope I can get this one out this Sunday. I've kind of slowed down just slightly on my editing, which, I mean, I've told myself, I made a rule for myself. If I start to feel a little bit burnt out, I kind of just step back a little bit. And then I start to get a little bit more reinvigorated. So, but yeah, Saturday I should be able to put that thing to bed because it's more than halfway there. It's just the ending of it with the music and the voice over parts actually take a little bit more work than I felt like doing. So I'm gonna have to really get in there because I got to put my creative cap on for that. So far it's just been putting stuff together. So then I got to make it, hopefully look good. Again, thank you all so much. Appreciate it. I'm not sure. Is Jay still hanging? Did he get that in there?
Yeah, he said he did.
Oh, let me
said
check.
it was ready.
Hold on. My bad.
He's also still hanging. Yeah.
Nice.
That's what happens when we do early shows. Jay stays in.
Damn, it isn't popped in there yet. Well, let me search, see if I can search. Yeah, I did like the early shows, but I can't commit to them because, here it is. Gotcha, Jay. I'm going to be teleporting there. Nice. Just because tonight, dude, I went, shopped, ate, and it immediately came down here, and I was setting stuff up. And then I actually am glad because I'm still a little bit behind on Jay's normal stream. So, like, I luckily, as I was setting everything up, I put on the live just to see where he's at, and he was closing up shop. And I was like, oh, shit. But, it's just how the trial was ending. He still had another 20 minutes to fill to 7, so I didn't expect him to do that. But, dude, that's when I messaged you. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go ahead and go. Just let me know, it's because I want to be ready. So it was perfect. It worked out freaking perfectly. And, again, I appreciate Jay so fucking much for even allowing that to happen, man. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you guys. You the fucking man, Jay. We'll see you in the morning. Fail Friday. Keep your eyes on the socials. Love you guys.
Good night.
Later.
Experts. I think